You take a golden retriever and they're always puppy-like, they're always caring. You don't get, problems with biting and stuff like that. And so we'll take these golden retrievers and teach, we call it a transferable attachment.
One of the first realizations we had when we were trying to put together the most complete adolescent treatment program for our population of students was that we needed something besides just humans for our students to connect with. And so as we started researching animals and canines, it became pretty evident early on that we needed to go with golden retrievers. Golden retrievers are known as perpetual puppies due to their childlike behavior. They usually are hyperactive and wild, but also very loving and forgiving and very attuned with their owners. And as a result of that, they became the ideal dog for us, because our students then get to learn what it's like to be a parent over a child with some of those same qualities. And our initial vision for the canine program was it would help our students learn to gain some empathy and to form attachments with their parents. That was the initial vision. And one of the ways that we thought that would happen is if our students attached to the canine, something that we call transferable attachment, they could then transfer those gains of the canine-human relationship to their other human relationships. And that's actually happened very well. But what we didn't realize is that there's a host of other things that we're going to be positive from this experience. One of those things is that our canines are 24/7 feedback for our students. They are constantly mirroring and mimicking their owner's behavior. So students that have anxiety or get nervous, their dog has the exact same behavior. Students with high energy, their dog has high energy. And it becomes a source of feedback for our students where they can actually, in a sense, look in the mirror and say, oh, so that's how I'm behaving. Where human feedback is often falls on deaf ears. But they can look at their canine and realize, wow, that's actually what my behavior is like. We had a girl here not too long ago who was trying to receive some feedback from a coach about not being heard and not being assertive. And in the process, her canine is jumping all over her. And she's kind of passively saying, peanut down, peanut down. And it was just this golden opportunity to say, hey, Anna, do you realize that your canine is not able to hear you right now? And it was just this connecting moment for her of, oh, yeah, I guess what you're saying is true, because if my canine's not hearing me, it's pretty clear that no one else will either. And so they become this source of 24/7 feedback, in essence a sidekick for our students, following them around throughout the day. Some of our students, in fact most of our students, will actually become foster parents for our canines. And they do that through a very real-life mirroring process of what adults go through to be foster parents. They have to have background checks and write essays and be interviewed, and frankly, it's a process that our students don't like. They just would rather have a dog and let the dog be with them. But this process really allows them to gain some empathy for, wow, to even do this kind of a work on a foster level for a canine is quite burdensome. No wonder that my parents had to go through so much for me. And when they become a foster parent, they're able to have that dog with them all the time. Some of our students then are able to pursue even further and actually adopt their canine and have that canine actually be finalized with them. It's actually a process that's very similar to the human adoption process. They have a finalization, a sequence, and a ceremony where it becomes really formal. And that dog is their dog. They can take that dog home when they leave. It's independent of whether they graduate our program or not. That is their dog, and we wanted to really separate those two things as any source of motivation or anything like that for our students.
Well, with Chubbs, if I'm having a bad day with something that I know that not a lot of other people would understand, I'll go, and Chubbs is always really forgiving. He has a tendency of nipping every now and then, and I'll get angry at him and put him in his kennel. But just coming back out and seeing that he's already forgiven me for putting him in his kennel, and I feel really bad if I haven't already forgiven him. He just it's all about transferable attachment. And so he just teaches you how to have a healthy relationship with another living organism, which is you provide for him. So I give Chubbs food and water, and exercise, and he provides for me when he's there when I'm struggling and stuff, and just always there and happy.
Also, in a very real sense, our canines are breaking abuse and neglect cycles. What I mean by that is many people who were abused or neglected subsequently turn around and abuse and neglect their own children. Not everyone, but some people who were abused and neglected turn around and do that to their own children. And through here at Calo, many of our students went through some period of neglect or abuse. Not all of them, but some of them did. And as a result, they have these tendencies almost at a subconscious level where they want to do that. And they don't want to do it, but it's almost a subconscious desire to have this play out. Well, we had a young woman not too long ago who was working through her canine process, and she began mistreating and neglecting her canine, not giving it nutrition and the care that her canine deserved, and she was really perplexed as to why. But you look at her history, she was a young woman who, less than a year old, was removed from her biological parents' home. They found empty bottles in her home. She was not being taken care of, and she just had this wired sense of, this is what I do, this is how I act, this is how I treat people. And she was playing that out with her canine. So when I say the canines are abuse and neglect cycle breakers, this is actually what I mean. She was able to have this experience with her canine and make these connections of, wow, I'm actually mistreating my canine, and realize why she was doing it and overcome that. And now she does not have to do that with her own children thanks to her canine. So what a beautiful thing that her canine could save perhaps a generational pattern, because she was able to have those experiences here with her canine here at Calo. To have a robust canine program like this, you really have to have a champion to own it, because it's so much work. And we have that in Gina Osborne. She works round the clock trying to help our students with their canine needs, help them become the ultimate owners and the parents for their canines. Her doing it herself, of course, is a noble thing, but her helping our students do it for themselves is really the ideal, and that's what she does. Her ability to, we call her the dog whisperer, because she is so in tune and knows what's going on with every dog at all times. And she's able to then impart that amazing knowledge and her gift to our students. She is just phenomenal.